Hey NASCAR fans, thanks for helping Coca Cola celebrate 125 years of sharing and opening happiness.
And it's hey now, here we go, gonna get a little bit sideways.
The Coca Cola 600, stock car racing's longest night and one of its crown jewel races. 244 laps in. Not where you start, it's where you finish, and it's the front row drivers right now that embody that. Marcus Ambrose started 22nd tonight, Kyle Busch 21st, and they will line up for this restart on the front row. David Reagan, Denny Hamlin, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kenseth, Stewart, Keselowski, and Allmendinger are the top 10 as we get ready to restart after the 7th caution for Paul Menard's spin and the resulting crash between Martin Truex and Brian Vickers. Sponsifiers back for 2011. This year the winning designer gets a personal visit from their favorite driver. Go online for all new ways to create, customize, and share your designs. 24 lead lap cars. David Gilliland was the free pass car on this caution flag.
Haven't heard too much looking at Denny Hamlin, haven't heard him complain too much about his engine lately, and he's still able to maintain great speed, so I think he's just imagining things.
So far, one car out of the race with engine failure, and that is Jamie McMurray. 8 cars in all in the garage area. 35 on the racetrack as we get ready to restart, and Marcus Ambrose leads them down.
Kyle Busch in the 18 took a little better tempo with him on this restart versus the last one. Hunting the bottom of the racetrack, hunting the lead.
Yeah, hard to get up off that corner without losing a little speed. That high line who get a nice run down the back straightaway, but Kyle's fighting back on the inside. Looks pretty good here. Gets down in the turn a little bit ahead of Marcos. He's going to take the lead.
Kyle Busch to the front, finished 3rd yesterday. David Reagan in 3rd place. Busch's teammate Denny Hamlin 4th. Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt 5th and 6th. Kenseth in 7th, trying to break out from the pack. Steve.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. says that his car is starting to get loose and coming, Mike, what he's saying, coming out of the racetrack. So he doesn't have the grip and stability that he once had. But when Steve Letarte told him to stay out, he said, oh yeah, we got some practice in.
You know, Larry, that's the thing. You'd think when the sun goes down, the track would tighten up, but these guys keep telling me these tires, these cars this year, sun goes down, you'd pick up grip, but the cars get loose.
But what I think is catching a lot of these drivers off guard, if you go back to the All-Star race, we have got a wad here going off into turn 3 and 4 wide.
Kevin Harvick's going to break out of that group with his teammate Jeff Burton in the 31. And then Ryan Newman battling Montoya.
21 car bounced off the wall again. Ricky Stenhouse.
Mark Martin is in that mix, and the number 5, he got a little bit of damage before the last caution flag, running side by side. Here's what happened to Martin.
You see him up here in the 33, and he made contact going into turn 1.
Yeah, almost like Clint Boyer's car just slid right up into him.
You know, Stenhouse really done a pretty nice job. Yep. I mean, you know, he's had a little contact with the wall a couple of times, but still running good.
25th.
And he's actually the first driver a lap down, which would put him in place for that free pass should we get a caution. But Darryl, what I was going to say, I know that that's been a little bit of the dilemma or debate about it, but they were going back to the All-Star race with this same tire package. All of the drivers complained about their cars got tighter. The one that confuses me, though, is getting less grip. You would think it would at least have more grip.
A moment ago, front straightaway, Dale Earnhardt Jr. almost ran over Jimmy Johnson. Something happened to Johnson, and Jr. had to make a big swerve to miss him.
Jr. had a run on Jimmy, and Jimmy was going to give Jr. the line, and I think they just failed to communicate momentarily, and they almost run over each other.
So Jr. back up to 5th, Johnson to 6th. And Dale Jr. pulling away from his Hendrick Chevrolet teammate.
Junior's back where he was at the beginning of this race. He was in the top 5 early in the race.
Here it is from Junior's in-car.
So he's got such a run on Jimmy. Jimmy doesn't know exactly which way he's going to go.
Outside at your door. Bumper. Clear. All clear.
Matt?
The only thing Jimmy said on the radio, Mike, was his car has been more on the free side. A couple of different cycles on this set of tires on that 48.
Well, here's bad news for all of them. Kyle Busch just ran his fastest lap of the race. As the temperatures cool, the track picks up speed. Busch, Reagan, and Earnhardt, along with Tony Stewart and Kurt Busch and Clint Bowyer, have just run their fastest laps tonight.
Yeah, actually, that lap by Kyle Busch, that's the fastest lap of the race, period, so far tonight.
It's been a busy week for Kyle Busch. It started Tuesday when he was out test driving Lexus's brand new supercar, the LFA, $400,000 list price, and on a 2-lane country road north of Mooresville, was clocked in a 45 zone at 128 miles an hour. He'll answer to the authorities in court a little later this summer. And he's taken some heat in the court of public opinion in the days since. But he's come to the racetrack, talked to the media with a well-rehearsed apology, got in the race car, and done his job.
But I think that's the key right there, Mike. He manned up. Look, I made a mistake. I did something I shouldn't have done. I got caught. I'm apologizing. And what else can you do?
And regardless of what happens in the court of law, if they do indeed suspend his driver's license, NASCAR does not require you to have a driver's license to participate, only the NASCAR license.
Matt Kenseth coming back. He's in 8th place, challenging Tony Stewart for 7th. What a topsy-turvy race this is. 6 of the top 9 drivers started in the 10th row or further back.
And we've seen that a number of times here in the Coke 600. It's normally a race of comers and goers.
Kevin Harvick called him the Candy Man, or words to that effect. Kyle Busch leads in Charlotte.
What time is it? It's time to get rowdy. Keep watching NASCAR on Fox.
The Coca Cola 600 on Fox is delivered by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you.
261 of 400 laps complete. Kyle Busch leading Marcus Ambrose by 1.2 seconds. It's the nighttime, so it's the right time.
Yes, sir. That's when the speeds come up. And when the cars go faster, they get harder to drive.
And here's the deal. We've got about 2 or 3 more stops. We can't be yanking spring rubbers and making major adjustments. Drivers, a little bit, to some degree, got what you've got with your race car now.
Yeah, this is when I start saying, how much further is it? Are we almost there yet?
Only 138 to go, Darrell.
But I'll tell you something that's shaping up here pretty interesting. Got 2 guys up here. We keep selling this. First-time winners. Marcos Ambrose running 2nd. David Reagan running 3rd. Those are 2 guys that we keep saying are first-time winners.
We talked to a number of the drivers in tonight's race about their concern of going from daylight to darkness and what that all means.
Well, as simple as it sounds, the track changes a lot just based on the weather.
You start in the afternoon and the track's still hot and greasy. You have to be able to keep up with that track. You have to have that adjustability built into your race car. But then at the end, you can finally build some confidence once the track is stabilized where you need your setup to be.
You don't want to have a great handling car in the day because you know the race is going to finish in the night. It's the last lap of the race that wins the night.
That's Marcus Ambrose running 2nd to Kyle Busch by 1.1 seconds. Now you see how the fastest laps of the race have gone up as we work our way to nightfall.
Definitely speeding up.
I can promise you we're not done yet, though. That number at the bottom, it's going to get bigger later on in this race.
What happened to Carl, Larry? I mean, He had the car to beat. He was leading this race, pulling away, and all of a sudden.
What did Ambrose just say? You don't want to have the best car in the daytime, because when nighttime comes, it won't be the best car. That appears to be what's happened to Carl.
Well, he's got a pretty good car still. I think he may just be biding his time. But watch this pass he does on Marcos Ambrose. Now that big fin sticking up on the deck lid right there on the Allmendinger's car. When Carl got his nose right up along the side of Allmendinger's car, that air builds up and pushed that car right out of the way.
Yeah, quite honestly, Carl Edwards' lap times is mirroring our leader Kyle Busch in the 18 and a lot of the other drivers in the top 5. Problem is he's messed around and got 8.5 seconds behind the leader. And for a lot of these drivers, we're 10 or 12 laps away from green flag stop.
So it isn't that he got worse. The cars ahead of him just got better.
Well, and remember, he said earlier he had a short run car, and we've had several short runs here amongst all these cautions.
See, that sounds like something Larry would tell the driver. You done messed around here and got us 8.5 seconds behind.
Sound like something Chad would tell Jimmy Johnson.
Right. You done messed around. Look what you've done.
Let's go to the pits of the third place car, David Reagan. Matt?
Mike, over the past 15 laps, the 6 car has been the fastest of the top 3 race cars. His car a little tight, a little free, but he says it's pretty good. The only issue he has, about every 5 laps, his volt gauge drops down to about 7, and then after a few seconds, it pops back up. But keep in mind, we talk a lot about guys on winless streaks. How about the Reagan family going back 7 decades? Grandfather Hugh owned a car that almost won Daytona Beach course. His dad ran Cup. They're still trying for a Cup win 7 decades long.
Reagan 1.5 seconds behind race leader Kyle Busch right now, and about half second back of Marcos Ambrose. There's the gap, first, second, third. Denny Hamlin fourth. Dale Jr. in fifth with 131 laps to go in the Coca Cola 600.